In this video, I'm going to show you the 16 weirdest yo-yos in my collection, but each one is weirder than the last. I've got yo-yos like this one that literally have a computer inside, others with crazy weird designs, and even a yo-yo that makes ice cream. So let's get started. The first one is still kind of normal, so why am I including it in my weirdest yo-yos video? Well, it's covered in glitter. I've never seen another one like this. It looks and feels like something you'd get as a party favor from your 3-year-old sister's princess-themed birthday party. Except it's not. So maybe this one isn't that weird, but remember you're gonna see 15 more yo-yos that keep getting weirder like this one. It's very different from the first, and maybe a better word to describe it is unique. Here's why. I'll tell you about this one, and then you're gonna wanna stick around because I guarantee you'll be shocked when you hear how much this yo-yo costs. But first, a quick history on it. In a small town in Sweden during the early 70s, some engineers at a ball bearing manufacturer had an interesting side quest. They decided to apply their knowledge and expertise and make a yo-yo. Not just any yo-yo, but one that would revolutionize the toy industry forever. The yo-yo was made of wood, and instead of the traditional fixed axle design most yo-yos had at the time, this one had a ball bearing, allowing the yo-yo to spin much, much longer. This was at the time a very weird and unheard of concept, and few could have predicted the lasting impact it would have on the world of yo-yoing. It bridged the gap between old classic tricks like walk the dog and rock the baby, to the modern tricks you see today, like the DNA, Godspeed, and so much more. Oh my gosh, no way I just got that. This one here was the very first yo-yo to ever use a ball bearing and is confirmed as one of the original SKF models, valued at a staggering $1,500.
And that makes me scared to use this thing.
So yeah, that yo-yo is super cool, but still not that weird. The good news, we still have a lot more that keep getting weirder, including a yo-yo that can even make ice cream. And we'll actually try that out in this video too. But I have a few more to show you first. Next up, we got the Big Deal. Despite its name, the Big Deal is anything but big. In fact, it's about the size of a quarter, making it one of the most challenging yo-yos to use. Landing it on the string during advanced tricks requires pinpoint precision. If you've ever played sports, you're probably familiar with the training techniques you use to make the moments that matter easier, like using a heavier baseball bat, or maybe a weighted vest for running. When you switch back for the big game or race, everything feels easier. The Big Deal works the same way, forcing you to focus so much on the mechanics that when you switch back to a regular size yo-yo, everything feels effortless. It's time for weird yo-yo number 4, which also happens to be a really fun one to use. The Hyper Infinity. The yo-yo that you can grab on the sides while it spins. It's basically a fidget spinner and a yo-yo in one. Check this out. Okay, 12 more weird yo-yos to go now, including the ice cream making yo-yo. But for now, on to number 5. This is the Orange, the yo-yo that's, well, the size and color of an orange. It's oversized and surprisingly functional. Its extra weight and size makes tricks more challenging, but also way more satisfying to pull off. Eli hops feels like launching a basketball through the air, and walking the dog feels like you're walking an actual dog. This thing's really heavy. Orange, you glad you saw this yo-yo? That was funny, right? Okay, on to number 6. This next one, called the BTH, isn't just a yo-yo. It's a record-breaking machine. Designed with one goal in mind, it holds the world record for the longest spin time ever achieved on a yo-yo. At the 2012 World Yo-Yo Contest, Simpson Wong stunned the crowd when the BTH spun continuously for 30 minutes and 28 seconds. The BTH is over 3 times the weight of a standard yo-yo, allowing it to generate a lot more spin time than usual. Playing with the BTH isn't for the faint of heart. Its heavyweight design makes it challenging to control. And speaking of challenging to control, that leads us into our 7th weird yo-yo of this video. This one technically isn't even a yo-yo, but it's a metal that happens to function as a yo-yo. Not much else to say about this one, but weird, right?
Wow, this is a really weird yo-yo.
Number 8. Let me start by telling you that this yo-yo has an estimated value of $2,000, and the reason why might surprise you. Long before LEGO became known for elaborate building sets and painful barefoot mishaps, the company tried something a little bit different. Yo-yos. In 1932, LEGO released their very first official wooden toy, a yo-yo set. It was simple, it was classic, and for a brief moment, it was all the rage. But it didn't last, and it left LEGO with an unfortunate problem. Shelves stacked with unsold yo-yos. So what do? They repurposed the yo-yos as wheels for their wooden toy trucks. Yes, you heard that right. Those wheels you see on early LEGO trucks were originally meant to be yo-yos. Now jumping right into this one, which is visually very interesting with a very weird design. This one consists of an outer body with these little cutout windows revealing the inner part of the yo-yo. It was designed so as the inner part spins, it produces this cool kaleidoscope-like effect. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this one is also extremely rare and that if you want one, it'll set you back about $1,000. This next one is a really sweet yo-yo. Literally, this yo-yo has one of the most unusual designs out there, because as you can see, it looks like a donut. minus the calories. This yo-yo comes with this little counterweight, which lets you perform tricks without tying the string to your finger. What is this thing's design supposed to represent? I genuinely have no idea. Now, you can technically pull off the DNA trick with the donut yo-yo, but it's clunky, like trying to hula hoop with a tire. And while it's capable of unique moves thanks to the counterweight, it's not exactly a performance powerhouse. But I think you'd all agree it's a pretty sweet yo-yo, right? But what's even sweeter is the ice cream yo-yo you'll see in a bit, along with the guests that'll be trying it with me. But first, let's move on to weird yo-yo number 11. And this is where they really start to get weird. This is the yo-yo that asks, why stop at tricks when you can also hold your stuff? It's a yo-yo with clear capsule bubbles built into its design so you can stash tiny items while you play. Coins? Sure. A secret note? Why not? A single M&M? Bold choice. The possibilities are endless. But despite looking silly, like a toy that's also trying to be a storage unit, this yo-yo is surprisingly good. It's well balanced, smooth, and can even perform unique tricks thanks to its shape. One of the coolest things is when the yo-yo spins sideways on the ground with barely any friction, gliding like a hockey puck in perfect circles. And even with its novelty factor, it's genuinely fun to play with. You might feel silly loading it up with snacks before a practice session, but after a few hours and the hunger sets in, you'll be glad you did. Okay, not really. Let's not do that. And once it starts spinning, you'll almost forget how weird this yo-yo looks. Almost. And they keep just getting weirder with this next one called the 9 Dragons yo-yo. It's like the Hyper Infinity yo-yo's bigger, crazier cousin. Instead of just holding onto the caps on the sides, you can grab the entire yo-yo while it's still spinning. That's right, you can physically hold it by its outer shells without stopping the spin. It's wild to see in action and opens up a whole new world of tricks that were impossible before. Imagine catching the yo-yo mid-spin, tossing it back into a trick, or just holding it and letting it spin endlessly in your hand like some futuristic gadget. You can even let it glide across the floor, spinning on its axis like one of those gyroscope toys from childhood. It's oddly satisfying and looks super cool when done right. And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, along comes this one. A square yo-yo, where geometry gets dangerous. The square yo-yo is proof that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Sure, it looks cool, and yes, it actually works as a yo-yo. But the moment you try to catch this thing, ow, you realize why circles are the golden standard. Those sharp corners, they are not your friend. One bad bind coming back to your hand, and it's like getting smacked by a brick. It's as if someone looked at a yo-yo and thought, you know what this needs? Corners! To its credit, it's super unique and surprisingly functional for simple tricks, but advanced combos, well, let's just say it can get a little risky. Catching this yo-yo feels like a game of dodgeball, except you're the only player and the ball has corners. And it's made of metal and spinning at 10,000 rotations per minute. It's fun to show off, but most people quickly put it back on the shelf after their first moment. In short, the square yo-yo is a perfect mix of cool and why does this exist? And it absolutely earns its spot as one of the weirdest yo-yos out there. 3 more to go. And just when you thought you've seen it all, along comes this one. A motorized yo-yo? Yep, this one has a motor. And the cool thing is it's motion activated, meaning you don't even have to throw the yo-yo. Just let go and it does the work for you. On paper, it sounds amazing. Imagine a yo-yo that just works without needing that good old-fashioned wrist flick. But in practice, sure, it's fast, but it has absolutely no control. The yo-yo swings in the air, drifts off axis unpredictably as if it has a mind of its own. And now it's time to put this motorized yo-yo to the test, attempting to break the Guinness World Record for the longest spinning yo-yo. It's a big move, considering the record is more about pure spin time rather than the way you get the spin. So does using the motorized yo-yo to break the record count as cheating? Probably, but you guys aren't gonna snitch, right? Okay, here we go. Oh, motor didn't start. Take 2. A motorized yo-yo? That's pretty weird. But you know what's even weirder is this one that has a computer inside. This isn't your average yo-yo, it's a video game wrapped in string. It calculates revolutions per minute, also known as RPM, on a mini display screen, transforming the simple act of throwing a yo-yo into an interactive experience. So watch this, if I turn it on, throw the yo-yo, bring it back to my hand, check this out. It just puts the little number of the rotations per minute on the yo-yo. The yo-yo also has different game modes, adding a whole extra layer of fun. Not only can you track RPM, but you can also see your yo-yo speed in miles per hour, or even monitor your longest spin time. And speaking of longest spin time, let's check in on our motorized yo-yo and see how it's doing. Well, maybe cheating isn't the way to go. Okay, we're back. Time for a mini game. After I throw the yo-yo, I'll give you a few seconds to guess how fast it's spinning as the computer calculates the RPM, then I'll reveal the answer. Drop your guess in the comments. Take your last minute guesses now. Okay, that one was 7,091. That's it for this one, but now it's time for the one we've all been waiting for. The ice cream making yo-yo, which I have right here. But quickly before showing you, I just want to thank you for all the support on what I do, from watching my videos, to live streams, to buying yo-yos from hunteryoyos.com. If you ever wanted to pick one up, do it now. It helps me out a lot and I guarantee you'll love it. I'll remind you guys at the end of the video, but for now, let's get back to the ice cream making yo-yo. This is easily the coolest weird yo-yo in this video because, well, who doesn't like ice cream? You've made it to the grand finale of this weird yo-yo journey, and if you're like me, this is the one you probably clicked on the video for in the first place. If you thought motorized yo-yos and RPM displays were wild, wait until you see this. A yo-yo that makes ice cream while spinning. Yes, this yo-yo doesn't just spin, it serves up dessert. At first, it might just look like one of those low-quality yo-yo balls you could find at Walmart, until you realize there's a compartment on the side you can open up. Inside, there's space to add all your ingredients for your favorite ice cream: milk, sugar, vanilla, whatever you like. The yo-yo is designed to mix the ingredients while it spins, just like an old-fashioned ice cream maker. Sounds crazy, right? I thought so too when I first got my hands on it. I did not know if it was gonna work, but how on earth could this actually work? First I tried to do the classic sleeper trick with it to see if we could generate some fast spin time, therefore getting ice cream faster. This thing doesn't even spin, and why does it come with this super short rubber string? I'm honestly not sure if this even counts as a yo-yo at this point, but I guess the box it came in says it is, so we'll just go with that. I tried to see if there were any other tricks that worked, starting with Eli hops. It kinda does. Kinda. Then I tried some around the worlds and inside loops to mix the ice cream a bit better. After a few minutes of spinning, I opened the yo-yo to find a surprisingly edible looking batch of ice cream waiting inside. Does that count as ice cream? But now, for the moment of truth. Will ice cream that was literally made from doing yo-yo tricks taste any good? Let's find out. Brought in a special guest ghost flipping, we're gonna test it out.
What's up?
Alright, let's see how it is. Is that even ice cream? It tastes good.
More of a milkshake, I'd say.
Yeah, can you believe this is made from a yo-yo?
That's crazy.
It's actually insane.
It's definitely really good though.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider picking up your own yo-yo at hunteryoyos.com. And of course, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more yo-yo content. Thanks for watching, and let me know what your favorite weird yo-yo was in the comments.